Welcome on in, everybody, to the All Aussie Rules YouTube channel. It's grand final day. The big game is finally here. It's Sydney Swans v Brisbane at the MCG, Saturday afternoon, 2:30 p.m. Massive game for both teams. Both teams having lost a grand final in the last 2 years. One of them in Sydney got smacked by Geelong. The other one, Brisbane, just going down to Collingwood last year. We'll have a look at in this episode, in this quick video, about the history, who we think will win, a couple of the award winner slash first goal kicker, the markets. We'll have a look, well, not at the markets, but who we think might succeed in those, and overall a tip for the match. Without any further ado, let's jump into it. Sydney, best team of the year so far, I think, in most people's opinion. Certainly the front half of the year, they had a little bit of a rough patch, but they've turned it back around. 2 good wins in the first 2 finals they've played, so they're going in with full momentum. Brisbane started the year really average, got the season going and cracking, and really hitting their straps in the second half of the year. They managed to get into 5th on the ladder, just missed the top 4 spot. Didn't matter, they've won 3 finals in a row to make the grand final. And you got to think they're every chance in this. Sydney will be starting favourites, but Brisbane, you certainly can't write them off. They will be in this, you would imagine, right till the end. We'll jump into first goal kickers. Who will kick the first goal? My pick all week has been Zach Bailey. I'm not going to go away from that now, I don't think. So he's my number 1 pick. From Brisbane, other options. Brisbane do start well, so you've got to consider that. Their first quarters are their best quarters, so be fully ready for Brisbane to come out of the blocks flying. Meanwhile, first quarters are Sydney's worst quarters of the match. Obviously, starting in the forward line for Brisbane, Cam Rayner. He's kicked a couple last week. He's certainly been better this year than he was last year, so he may well have every chance in this one to kick a first goal. Joey Danaher, starting centre half forward, certainly a chance. Jared Berry, I'd say is unlikely to probably kick the first goal, but you never know. The full forward line is Charlie Cameron, Eric Hipwood, Zach Bailey. As I said, Zach Bailey is a chance. Hipwood, I don't like his chances, but he could annoy me and many other people by kicking the first goal. Charlie Cameron, he's been a little bit quiet this year, in all honesty, but I mean, he popped up for a couple goals last grand final day, so certainly don't write him off. Other options around the field, Hugh McCluggage had a really good year last year in the grand final. He kicks goals, so don't write him off. I don't think Will Ashcroft is a likely one, starting in the centre. Same with Jasper Fletcher. Darcy Forts, Ruckman, unlikely. Josh Dunkley and Lachie Neale. Of those two, Lachie Neale probably more likely. And then forward interchange, if it goes a few minutes without a goal, which grand finals tend to happen quite a lot, where there's no goals for 5 to 10 minutes. You could see some of these bench players come on. Kai Lohman, Logan Morris, both starting on the bench, both a chance. Archie also. Obviously, we don't know who sub is yet, so one of the 5 on the bench for Brisbane is going to be the starting sub. Possibly Noah Answorth, maybe. It would be a weird decision to make Logan Morris sub, and I can't see Archie or Lohman being sub, but you just never know. So that's Brisbane's chances for first goal. For Sydney, we're going to be looking at, we'll start with the forward line, obviously. Papley, I mean, there's every chance. He only kicked 1 goal in the grand final 2 years ago, and that was in the last 20 seconds. But he does pop up. He does kick lots of goals, so he's got to be in your considerations. Joel Amati, he was really good last week, so don't write him off either. He played a really good game, clunked a few marks, and kicked a few goals. Will Hayward, he pops up for goals regularly too. Tends to be when they're getting out the back is when he's at his best. Errol Goulden starting on the forward flank, probably more likely to be going into the middle a bit, but he pops up for goals, no doubt about it. Logan McDonald is a chance, I'd say a little bit less of a chance than the rest around him. Luke Parker, he's picked up his goal kicking abilities this year. He's kicked quite a few times, so don't write him off. The midfield line, I don't think Florent or Jordan will, but Chad Warner always pops up for goals, as does Isaac Heaney. Rowbottom's probably an unlikely one, and Brodie Grundy would be a real outside chance, I think. Off the bench, they've got Matt Roberts, Campbell, McInerney, McLean and Fox. I don't think any of those are the first goal kickers. If Sydney managed to kick the first goal, I think it's coming from probably Papley, Hayward, Marty, Goulden, Parker, Warner, Heaney are probably the ones that I would say are the chances for Sydney's first goal. As I said, I'm going Zach Bailey. Second likely one for Brisbane. I might go Cam Rayner as my second pick for Brisbane. For Sydney, Isaac Heaney, number one maybe, and then Papley and Hayward, second and third. Now for Norm Smith, this is where it gets interesting. Who will be the best player on the ground? It typically goes to the winning team occasionally, very occasionally. Does the losing team have the Norm Smith medalist? I'm trying to think the last time that somebody did win the Norm in the losing team. You got to go back a fair way, I think. It happened a few times, early 2000s. I don't know if it's happened since. Certainly not off the top of my head. There probably is one. But so you're looking at the team that you probably think is going to win. So if you're on Sydney, in all likelihood, the best player is going to be one of their big midfielders. In all likelihood, Chad Warner, Errol Goulden, Isaac Heaney. They're the big three. They're the three that dominate week in, week out. So you'd imagine one of them is probably going to be right up there if they win this. The exception to that rule tends to be if somebody kicks a big bag. I don't know if anyone on this team will kick a big bag. Joel Amati has kicked 9 in a game this year. Hayward's popped up for 4. I don't know if that would be enough. Papley, he's probably similar. I don't see him kicking more than 4. You can also occasionally see a back flanker or a running backman get a lot of touches and get the award. So someone like Rampy or Blakey is a slight chance. But I would be sticking to the big 3 for Sydney: Chad Warner, Isaac Heaney and Errol Goulden. They're the 3 big ball winners. They all get forward kick goals. So if Sydney win, I reckon it'll be one of those 3. For Brisbane, there's a lot more opportunities, I think. You start in the back line. Dane Zorko, he's been dominant this year. He's been getting a lot of the ball. He's been very good. You move then into the midfield. You got players like Will Ashcroft. Hugh McCluggage was huge in the grand final last year. Lockie Neal. I think Dunkley's probably an unlikely one, but you never know. And then in the forward line, Cam Rayner can get a 20 plus touches and a couple goals, so potentially. Outside of that, maybe a big goal kicker. If Joe Danaher kicks a bag, which he's capable of if he kicks straight. Charlie Cameron could kick a bag. Eric Hipwood, I think, is unlikely. So they're your options, I think, for Brisbane. A little bit more varied, I think, in the Brisbane lineup for the Norm Smith. If I've got to pick 2 from each team, Isaac Heaney's my number 1 pick, no doubt about it. He would be my first. As I said, the other 2 midfielders are probably the next 2. If we're going a roughie, maybe Brodie Grundy could have a day out. I could see him having 20 plus touches, kicking a couple goals and just dominating the ruck. So there's a slight chance for him. Brisbane, I think McCluggage was their best last year, but I mean, Lachie Neale's their best player. So it's hard to go past him. But maybe Cam Rayner is a little smoky. He could end up this game with, as I said, 25 touches and a couple goals. So maybe go my picks: Lachie Neale first, Cam Rayner second, and maybe sneaky Joe Danaher third if he kicks a bag of 10. He doesn't need 10 to get it. If he kicks 6 or 7, he probably gets it as well. But Joe Danaher to kick a bag is my little sneaky outside prediction for the day. I don't know why. I just feel like he's going to get a bag today. He will spend time in ruck, which might limit his chances a little bit because obviously he's always their backup ruckman. But yeah, that's my prediction for that. To finish it off, my prediction for the match, all said and done, Sydney Swans by 31 points. I think they're the better team this year. I think they win it. It should be a cracker. I'm hoping it's a cracker. If Brisbane take their chances, they will win. There's no doubt about it in my mind. But will they take their chances? We'll have to wait and see. Let me know down in the comments below who you think will win, who will kick the first goal, who's the Norm Smith medalist. Should be a good game. I'll be back tomorrow with a full review of the game, including player ratings for every single player on the ground. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow, as I said. This is All Aussie Rules. Catch ya.